Time, Nicole.
All right, whenever you're ready, you can start.
Hey, I'm Jackson.
I'm Lauren.
We've been dating for a little over 2 years.
Yes.
What is my favorite color?
Your favorite color is pink and blue.
What kind of pink?
Hot pink.
Okay. Your favorite color is turquoise?
Yes.
Do you also like neon colors?
I do. It's good.
Coffee or tea?
You like coffee.
I do.
You do.
She likes tea. I just kind of started getting her into coffee.
Yes.
What kind of
Oh snap! I don't even know what kind of coffee I get.
I know what she gets.
I know
order
because he
it
always
every
orders
time.
for
coffee?
me.
She gets a vanilla latte with almond milk because she's lactose intolerant.
Yes, that is key. That is key. He gets a variety of things. He really is like complex and he likes to try different things. But I think you always get like a white chocolate mocha. Yes, win.
There it is.
What is my shoe size?
13, 14.
Those are all.
I feel like the only thing I never know is what your shoes.
You know,
How do you not know that?
Is it 13, 14?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Look at you. Always remember.
most overused word I say.
You say frick a lot.
I do say frick a lot. Snickerdoodles
I do say
is
that.
hers. Anytime something happens, snickerdoodles.
Okay,
That's
that's
it.
like my aggression word, so I don't cuss. So, yeah.
That's very interesting. I thought it's my
Okay,
Perfect. That's really good.
cool. Yay!
All right. How did you guys meet?
You want to answer?
Yes. So Jackson and I actually grew up together. So it wasn't like typical meetings. So it wasn't like, oh, like we came to school together, like we met on campus. So we basically met in church. We grew up together in children's church, and then got to work with one another in the church and just really grew our relationships that way.
Was the idea of dating outside of you guys' race a thing growing up?
No, I mean, my parents specifically were pretty much open to whatever. My grandparents were always like, just watch out, you don't want to get mixed up with no white girl that'll, not do right and like get you in trouble. But like I think for us, it wasn't ever like a real issue.
I would say for like my family, as a broad perspective, it really wasn't something maybe that they like as far as maybe some races. Being Hispanic, and it sounds kind of bad, but like we're like Black people. Like Mexicans are very open to people, but sometimes they're very secluded as well. Just because like the Hispanic way is very, like they like really strong men. And so if you're not that, it's kind of like degraded almost. So they see it more as like a man in like weakness, more so than like race. So they're hard workers. So if they don't see you as a hard worker, it can come off as, oh, well, we don't want that for you, or oh, like that's not what we want for you, which may come with race of those just like statistics or stereotypes, like, oh, white people don't work as much as like Hispanic people do. Like whenever you look at, a broad perspective, like, oh, the Hispanic people are the ones who are building things and like doing this. So for my family, that's honestly how it is, yeah.
Were there any challenges?
I wouldn't say there were necessarily any challenges. I think, like for me, just kind of like what you just said about like kind of the way like Hispanics are and the way they look at like partnerships within like spouses and just dating relationships. For me, I was always like, man, I feel like I kind of need to prove myself and prove that I can like work hard and be someone who can provide for your daughter, just dealing with her dad, which wasn't really like necessarily a challenge, but it's something that's like kind of always in the forefront of my mind.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think my dad honestly has been the biggest challenge, only because him growing up is a different lifestyle than Jackson and his family. Like, he grew up closer to Mexico, so their way of life is very, you work at an early age. Like, my dad is still the same way. Like, he works long hours, he works very hard. So to see a musician, it's not labor, it's a different type of work, which he may not always understand. And for him, like, he's the provider in my household. Like, my mom doesn't work, and it's a very Hispanic way of life. So like for him, he's like, I just want to make sure you're good, like you are provided for. And sometimes seeing that as a musician, it can be seen as like, oh, well, how are you going to make ends meet? Like that's important to them. So in finding a spouse, you know, naturally people are like, oh, well, you find someone who's like your dad, or you find someone who are like your parents. And for me, that's not necessarily the case. So it can be kind of hard for him to wrap that idea around for him. Like, oh, I need to make sure that my daughter is provided for. So, yeah.
What's some changes, or did you guys have any changes culture-wise?
I would say we're still learning one another's culture.
Yeah.
Like, there's even just like music that Jackson probably doesn't know. Like, even going to a Black church is definitely different for me. So yeah, I definitely think we're currently still in that process.
We're definitely still learning. I do not know Hispanic music. Like, that mess is crazy, but it's really cool.
Yeah. Like,
I also don't know how to dance, which is very hard
That's what I
because
was gonna say.
Hispanics love to dance, and I don't do it well.
What's some advice that you guys can give to
I think like advice that we can give to other couples is just be open to learning more about each other and just like the different backgrounds you come from, because like it's okay to be engulfed in something that's different from what you know already, and bring that on as a part of who you are also, because the person you're with probably needs that too.
Yeah, and I think for me, I'd say communication is definitely key. If there are problems, if there's something you're uncomfortable with, like, don't be afraid to share that with your partner, because if you're thinking long term, like, that's not something that's going to change, whether it be your just the morals of who you are, how you grew up. You're definitely going to have to work together to change those things, to mend a family, to build one another up, and to just be cultured. So, and I think something else I would give is like really have God as your firm foundation, because for us, like, there have been times where it's been really hard with like my dad or just like learning things, and like you really just have to depend on God, because if not, like, it's easy to fall. It's so easy just to like give up, you know, to be in that statistic of, oh, I don't want to deal with this because it's so hard. But like, you really just have to be faithful and love one another, but love God. So, yeah. Sweet.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Of course. Yay!
Thank you for watching this week's episode. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.